The night sky lit up with strange lights over Washington, D.C. They weren't stars or planes or anything people had seen before. The lights formed a perfect circle and stayed there, not moving, just glowing blue and green. John Mason sipped his coffee and watched the news from his apartment. At 42, he had worked at the State Department for 15 years. He never expected to be called in at 3 a.m. because of lights in the sky. His phone rang. "Mason here," he answered. "John, this is Secretary Campbell. I need you at the White House." Now, 3 hours later, John sat in a room with 20 other people. The president looked tired but focused. "They've made contact," the president said. "They call themselves the Galactic Concordat, 37 species working together, and they want to talk." John found himself named to the welcome team. His background in international conflict resolution made him a good choice, they said, as if talking to aliens was anything like negotiating trade deals. The aliens landed their ship on the National Mall the next day. It was smaller than people expected, about the size of a bus, silver and smooth with no visible windows. A door appeared in its side, and out stepped something that looked almost human, except for the blue skin and extra fingers. "I am Ambassador Zorax of the Veldari," it said in perfect English. "We come in peace and friendship." John stood behind the president, watching carefully. The alien's mouth didn't match the words. Some kind of translator, he guessed. Over the next week, the aliens explained their offer. Earth could join the Concordat as a protected world. They would get basic space technology and protection from dangerous elements in the galaxy. In return, Earth would provide water, minerals, and allow Concordat bases on the planet. "It sounds like a good deal," the president said in a private meeting. John wasn't so sure. "Sir, they're treating us like children, or a colony. What choice do we have? They can travel between stars. We can barely reach Mars." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Commander Olivia Reeves received the news differently. Her underwater base, hidden 8 miles below the surface, was larger than most cities. No satellite could detect it. No sonar could find it. It was humanity's best-kept secret. Olivia walked through the massive hangar where workers maintained hundreds of spacecraft. Not the simple rockets the public knew about. These were real spaceships built with technology humanity had been developing in secret for decades. "Status report," she said to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Greg Peterson. "All systems normal, Commander. The fleet is at 98% readiness." She nodded and stepped into the command center. Screens showed the alien ship in Washington, and the others now orbiting Earth. 12 ships total. Small ones. "They have no idea what we have down here, do they?" Greg asked. "No," Olivia said, "and that's our advantage." She entered her command codes into the central computer. "Activate Protocol Poseidon. Alert all bases. Across Earth's oceans, in the deepest parts no alien scan could penetrate." Lights came on. Engines warmed up. Crews moved to their stations, not just in the Pacific, but in the Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern Oceans. 1 million ships waited in secret underground hangars and underwater bases. Olivia remembered when it all started. In 2082, scientists found something in the Mariana Trench, a small alien scout ship that had crashed thousands of years ago. The technology inside changed everything. World leaders made a rare decision to work together in complete secrecy. If aliens existed, humanity needed to be ready. For 70 years, Earth built its hidden fleet, developing technologies reverse-engineered from that ancient crash. "Should we reveal ourselves?" Greg asked. "Not yet," Olivia said. "Let's see what these visitors really want first." In Washington, John Mason watched Ambassador Zorax closely during another meeting. The alien smiled too much, promised too much. It reminded John of old colonial powers when they first met native peoples, right before they took everything. "We have much to offer Earth," Zorax said. "You are fortunate we found you before others did." John wondered what Zorax would say if he knew what waited beneath Earth's oceans. The galaxy never expected humanity's secret, and John hoped they would never need to show it. 6 months passed since the aliens came to Earth. The Galactic Concordat ships became a normal sight in the sky. People took pictures and posted them online. Children drew pictures of Ambassador Zorax and his blue skin. Everyone thought Earth was entering a new age of peace and progress. John Mason knew better. The talks weren't going well. Every week, the aliens asked for more water, more land for their bases, more control over Earth's resources. They gave little in return, just enough technology to seem generous, while keeping the real advancements to themselves. John sat in his office reviewing the latest demands. The Concordat wanted exclusive rights to mine the ocean floor. They claimed it was for elements vital to space travel, but John didn't believe them. His phone rang. "Mr. Mason, this is Susan Williams from NASA. We need to talk." Not over the phone. They met at a small coffee shop 3 hours later. Susan looked nervous, her eyes darting around the room. "I found something," she whispered, sliding a small device across the table. "I've been monitoring their communications. They're using our satellites, so I could break into some of their less protected channels." John looked at the small screen. The symbols meant nothing to him. "It's encrypted, but I've translated parts of it," Susan explained. "They're not here for friendship. They're here for our water. All of it. Earth has more liquid water than any planet they've found. They plan to drain our oceans." John felt cold. "Are you sure?" "Positive. They've done it before. That's why they have 37 species in their group. Some joined willingly. Others had no choice after their worlds were stripped of resources." John took the device and promised to get it to people who could help. He tried official channels first, speaking to the Secretary of State and other officials, but no one wanted to hear bad news about their new alien friends. That night, John received a visitor. A woman in a plain black suit knocked on his door. "Mr. Mason, my name is Lisa Garrett. I represent certain interests within our government. May I come in?" Once inside, she got straight to the point. "We know about Susan Williams' discovery. We've been watching the Concordat from the beginning." "Who is we?" John asked. "People who prepared for this day," she answered. "I'm taking you to meet someone." They drove for hours, ending at a small airfield. A plain black helicopter waited. They flew out over the Atlantic Ocean, far from land. Just as John was about to ask where they were going, the helicopter descended toward the empty water. The ocean opened. There was no other way to describe it. The perfect circle of water slid away, revealing a massive platform below. The helicopter landed, and John was escorted inside. They descended in an elevator that seemed to go down forever. When the doors opened, John saw a vast underground base. Thousands of people worked at stations. Massive screens showed maps of Earth and space, and through a huge window, he saw ships. Not boats, spaceships. Hundreds of them in a hangar so large he couldn't see the end of it. "Welcome to Atlantic Command," a deep voice said. John turned to see a tall man in a uniform he didn't recognize. "Admiral Frank Delgado," the man said, extending his hand. "I command Earth's defensive fleet." "How?" John couldn't finish the question. 70 years of secret work. 5 bases like this one under each major ocean. Over 1 million vessels ready to launch. We've been preparing since we found that crashed alien ship. The president doesn't know about this. Only 7 people in government know the full scope. We needed absolute secrecy. Admiral Delgado led John to a conference room where a dozen military leaders waited. "The Concordat has issued their final proposal," a woman said. "They're giving Earth 30 days to sign their treaty. After that, they say there will be consequences. They think we're helpless." Admiral Delgado said, "That's our advantage." He turned to John. "We need someone who understands diplomacy, someone who can buy us time while we prepare. Will you help us, Mr. Mason?" John thought about the aliens who came with smiles and lies. He nodded. What do you need me to do? The final day of the 30-day deadline arrived. John Mason stood in the grand meeting room of the United Nations building in New York. Across from him sat Ambassador Zorax and 5 other aliens from different species of the Galactic Concordat. Their patience was clearly running out. Mr. Mason, Zorax said, his blue skin looking darker than usual, Earth has delayed long enough. We need your answer today. Will Earth join the Concordat under our terms or not? John adjusted his tie. For the past month, he had used every trick he knew to delay this moment. He asked for clarifications, suggested small changes to the treaty, and requested time for Earth's leaders to discuss, all while Earth's secret fleet prepared. Ambassador, we appreciate your patience, John said. Before we sign, we would like to understand exactly what will happen to our oceans. The treaty mentions resource extraction, but lacks details. Zorax's eyes narrowed. We have answered this question 3 times already. One of the other aliens, a tall, thin creature named Vex, whispered something to Zorax. The blue alien nodded and stood up. Perhaps it is time for honesty, Mr. Mason, Zorax said. We have been patient. We have pretended this was a negotiation between equals. It is not. The alien touched a device on his wrist. The large screen on the wall lit up, showing dozens of massive ships appearing around Earth. Our full battle fleet has arrived, Zorax said. We tried to be civil, but you leave us no choice. Earth will surrender all its water resources. We will drain your oceans to the last drop. Most of your species will be relocated to work planets. The rest will serve as examples of what happens to those who waste our time. The room fell silent. The UN Secretary General and other human leaders looked pale. You have 1 hour to surrender formally, Zorax said, or we begin orbital bombardment of your major cities. John's phone vibrated in his pocket. A single message. Poseidon active. Ambassador, John said calmly, before you make threats, perhaps you should count how many ships you actually have. Zorax laughed. We have tracked your primitive space capabilities. You have exactly 17 functioning satellites and 3 small space stations. You have no weapons that can reach orbit. John smiled. You counted what we wanted you to see. At that moment, Commander Olivia Reeves stood on the bridge of the UES Neptune, the largest ship in Earth's first wave. She and her crew had waited for this moment for years. The massive vessel, nearly a mile long, hovered just below the ocean's surface. All ships report ready, Commander, Lieutenant Greg Peterson said. Olivia nodded. Begin Operation Surface Breach. Across the world's oceans, the water began to churn and bubble. In the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern Oceans, massive hatches opened. First came the destroyers, sleek black ships rising on columns of blue energy. Then the carriers, huge flat-topped vessels that immediately launched swarms of fighter craft. Finally, the command ships rose, their massive forms breaking the surface like rising mountains. In New York, John watched Zorax's face as the alien received reports from his fleet. The blue skin turned pale. What have you done? Zorax whispered. We've been preparing for 70 years, John said. Ever since we found that scout ship in our ocean. Did you think you were the first to find us? On the screens around the room, news channels showed the incredible sight of Earth's hidden fleet rising from the oceans. People worldwide stood in awe as thousands of ships took to the skies. This was only the first wave. Just 5% of Earth's total forces, but it was enough to match the Concordat fleet ship for ship. In orbit, Admiral Frank Delgado commanded from the UES Trident. His vessel took position directly opposite the Concordat flagship. Open communications, he ordered. When the alien commander appeared on screen, Delgado spoke clearly. This is Admiral Frank Delgado of Earth's Defense Fleet. You are ordered to withdraw immediately or face defensive action. Back in New York, John looked directly at Zorax. Now, Ambassador, let's discuss new terms. Earth is not as helpless as you thought. The space around Earth lit up with weapons fire. The Concordat ships, shocked by Earth's unexpected fleet, attacked without waiting for orders. They thought a quick strike might turn the tide in their favor. They were wrong. Earth's ships had shields that absorbed energy blasts. The alien weapons, powerful enough to destroy cities, barely made them flicker. 70 years of preparation had given humanity an edge. Commander Olivia Reeves guided the UES Neptune through the battle with calm precision. Her ship, once hidden beneath the Pacific, now danced between enemy vessels with impossible speed for something so large. "Target their lead destroyers," she ordered. "Disable only. No destruction unless necessary." Blue beams lanced out from the Neptune, cutting through 3 Concordat dreadnoughts. The alien ships didn't explode. Instead, their engines died and lights went dark. Earth's weapons were designed to disable rather than destroy when possible. In orbit, Admiral Delgado watched the battle unfold. "Status report," he called. "Minimal damage to our fleet, sir," his tactical officer replied. 17 of our ships report minor shield impacts. No casualties. We've disabled 32 enemy vessels and destroyed 12 that continued aggressive action." Delgado nodded. The first wave of Earth's fleet, just 50,000 ships, was holding its own against the Concordat forces, but he knew the aliens would call for reinforcements. They would not take this humiliation lightly. On the Concordat flagship, General Krav slammed his fist on the command console. The 7-foot-tall alien with reptilian features couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How is this possible?" he roared. "They were supposed to be primitives. They were supposed to have nothing beyond chemical rockets." His second-in-command approached cautiously. "General, the humans have taken Ambassador Zorax and the diplomatic team hostage." "Let them die," Krav snarled. "Send the signal for the Armada. We will crush this planet and take its water from the ashes." Back in New York, John Mason faced a furious Zorax. The alien ambassador was now a prisoner, along with his team. "You've doomed your species," Zorax hissed. "The Concordat controls half the galaxy. Your little fleet may have surprised us, but we will return with 10,000 ships." John smiled. "Ambassador, what you've seen is only our first wave. 5% of our total fleet." Zorax's eyes widened. "You're bluffing." John's phone buzzed. A message from Admiral Delgado. "Second wave lugman cheating." "Look outside, Ambassador," John said. All across Earth's oceans, the water churned again. This time, larger vessels emerged. Massive carriers that dwarfed aircraft carriers. Battleships with weapons that could target ships in orbit with perfect accuracy. Special craft designed for space combat with maneuverability that defied physics as the Concordat understood it. The second wave, 15% of Earth's total fleet, joined the battle. Now 150,000 ships defended Earth. In space, Commander Olivia Reeves received new orders. The Neptune and 3 other command ships would pursue the retreating Concordat vessels. They needed to capture at least one intact for study. "Formation Delta," she ordered. "Target the trailing destroyer. Disable its engines but leave life support intact." The Neptune and its sister ships accelerated, catching up to the fleeing alien vessel in seconds. Precision shots took out its engines, leaving it drifting in space. "Boarding teams ready," Lieutenant Gregg reported. "Launch," Olivia ordered. On the Concordat flagship, General Krav watched in horror as his fleet was systematically disabled. Half his ships were already captured or destroyed. The humans were not just defending. They were actively hunting his vessels. "General," his communications officer called, "we're receiving messages from multiple human ships. They're broadcasting in all our languages." The message was simple. "The Concordat has committed an act of war against Earth. We offer one chance to retreat. Any ship that powers down weapons will be allowed safe passage out of our system. Any ship that continues hostile action will be destroyed. You have 5 minutes to decide. Krav growled in frustration. The humans had not only surprised them, they were dictating terms. Send the distress call, he ordered. Tell the Armada to hurry. 2 days after the battle began, a tense quiet fell over Earth's orbit. Most of the Concordat ships had retreated or been captured. General Krav's flagship remained, surrounded by 50 Earth vessels. Admiral Delgado sat at the head of a long table on the UES Trident. Across from him sat General Krav, who had finally agreed to talks. John Mason sat to Delgado's right, ready to help with diplomacy. Let's be clear, Delgado said. Your forces attacked Earth without provocation. We defended ourselves. Now you want to talk. Krav's reptilian face showed no emotion. The Concordat does not negotiate with lesser species, but this situation requires clarification. John leaned forward. The clarification is simple. You thought we were defenseless. You were wrong. On Earth, Susan Williams worked with a team of scientists examining the captured Concordat ships. What they found shocked them. The alien technology wasn't much more advanced than Earth's hidden fleet. In some areas, like shield technology, Earth was actually ahead. How is this possible? One scientist asked. Susan pointed to a strange device. This is their FTL drive. It's remarkably similar to our designs, almost as if we found the same source, another scientist finished. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Alan Hughes led a special team on a mission. Ambassador Zorax had revealed that the Concordat kept records of all planets they conquered. These records were stored on Krav's flagship. If Earth could access them, they might find allies among other oppressed worlds. Alan's team of 6 moved silently through the ventilation system of the alien ship. Each wore a suit that bent light around them, making them nearly invisible. Guard post ahead, whispered Sergeant Maria Wright, checking her scanner. They waited as 2 large insect-like aliens passed, then continued toward the ship's data center. Back at the peace talks, Krav was growing angry. You cannot possibly stand against the full might of the Concordat, he growled. Our armada will arrive in 6 days with thousands of ships. Admiral Delgado smiled. Then perhaps we should show you more of our fleet. On his command, monitors around the room lit up showing Earth's oceans once again churning with activity. This time, massive ships emerged, each one the size of a small city. These were Earth's dreadnoughts, the third wave of the fleet. 350,000 vessels rose from the waters around the world. 35% of our total force, Delgado said calmly. Would you like to see more? Kraft's scales paled. Impossible. No planet could build so many ships in secret. On the captured Concordat ship, Alan's team reached the data center. They placed a small device on the main computer, bypassing security systems. Downloading now, Maria said. 90 seconds until complete. Suddenly, alarms blared. They'd been discovered. Cover me, Alan ordered, drawing his weapon. The data is too important. As alien guards rushed in, Earth's special forces fought with skill and technology the Concordat had never seen. Their weapons fired concentrated energy that passed through alien armor like it wasn't there. The download completed just as more guards arrived. Fall back, Alan ordered. Their mission was accomplished. The data they retrieved would change everything. It showed the Concordat had conquered over 200 worlds, draining resources and enslaving populations. Many of these species hated their oppressors and would rise up if given the chance. Susan Williams studied the files with growing excitement. Look at this, she said to her team. The Varaxians, the Nubari, and the Ilthani all have hidden resistance movements, and they're close enough for us to contact. As news spread throughout the galaxy of Earth's unexpected stand against the Concordat, 3 of these oppressed species made secret contact. They had been waiting for a chance to fight back. Now, with Earth's emergence as a powerful force, they saw an opportunity. Admiral Delgado brought this news to the negotiations. General Krav, your armada is coming. But it won't just face Earth. The Ultheni ships are already moving to join us. The Viraxians and Nubari will follow. Krav's expression shifted for the first time, to fear. This isn't just about Earth anymore, John Mason said. You've created enemies across the galaxy. And now they've found each other. 6 days passed. The Concordat Armada arrived at the edge of the solar system. 5,000 ships jumped out of faster-than-light travel near Neptune. Their weapons powered up immediately. Earth had 6 hours before they would reach orbital range. Commander Olivia Reeves waited in the rings of Saturn. She had positioned 300 of Earth's largest ships in the ice and dust, hidden from the approaching enemy. This would be her chance to prove that the tactics she had studied for years could work in actual combat. All ships, maintain position, she ordered. Let them pass our line before we engage. On Earth, Admiral Delgado met with the leaders of their new allies. The Ulthani, blue-skinned beings with 4 arms, had brought 100 ships. The Viraxians, small but intelligent insect-like creatures, contributed another 80. The Nubari, who looked almost human except for their silver eyes, added 50 more vessels to the defense. It's not enough, the Ulthani commander said. We fought the Concordat before. Their armada will overwhelm us. Numbers aren't everything, Delgado replied. We have position, surprise, and one more advantage they don't know about. He activated a screen showing Earth's moon. On the far side, invisible to the approaching armada, sat a massive structure. It looked like a giant ring 30 miles across. Our quantum gate, Delgado explained. We can move ships instantly from one point in space to another. We've never used it in battle before. The alien allies stared in shock. Such technology was beyond even the Concordat's capabilities. John Mason worked with the Allied diplomats to broadcast a message across all frequencies used by Concordat worlds. They showed proof of the Concordat's true actions, how they drained planets and enslaved populations. Many worlds had been told they were joining a peaceful alliance. Now they saw the truth. General Krav, still under guard on his flagship, received reports of unrest throughout Concordat space. 10 systems had already declared independence. More would follow if Earth won this battle. Release me, he demanded. I can order the armada to stand down. We know that's a lie, John said. Your replacement, General Zor, has already stated his intention to destroy Earth as an example. The armada approached Mars. Earth's 4th wave of ships rose from the oceans, 600,000 vessels joining the defense. Now 60% of humanity's fleet was visible, forming a protective sphere around the planet. Commander Olivia Reeves waited until the armada passed Saturn. Then she gave the order. All ships, attack pattern Poseidon. Her hidden fleet erupted from Saturn's rings, catching the rear of the armada by surprise. The Neptune led the charge, its advanced weapons cutting through Concordat ships with surgical precision. At the same time, Admiral Delgado activated the quantum gate. 200,000 Earth ships vanished from their defensive positions around the planet and reappeared behind the Concordat fleet, trapping them between 2 forces. Open fire, Delgado ordered. The space between Earth and Mars lit up with weapons. The Concordat armada fought back fiercely, their desperation making them dangerous. Though Earth's technology was superior, the aliens had numbers and experience. The battle raged for hours. Ships from both sides were damaged or destroyed. The Ulthani, Viraxians, and Nubari fought with special fury, finally taking revenge for generations of oppression. On the Neptune, a direct hit shook the bridge. Olivia steadied herself against her command chair. Damage report, she called. Shields at 40%. Lieutenant Gregg replied. 3 decks damage. Minimal casualties. Olivia studied the tactical display. The Concordat ships were trying to regroup, forming a defensive sphere. She saw an opportunity. All ships, focus fire on these coordinates, she ordered, marking a weak point in their formation. Break their line. Earth's fleet concentrated their attack. The Concordat formation cracked, ships scattering in confusion. On Earth, people watched the battle through telescopes and on screens. They had never known about the hidden fleet until days ago. Now they saw it defending their world against an enemy that would have destroyed them. Susan Williams worked frantically in her lab, studying data from the battle. She noticed something strange about the Concordat flagship. It's powering up some kind of weapon, she warned Delgado. Something bigger than anything they've used so far. Admiral Delgado received the warning. He had to make a quick decision. The battle was turning in Earth's favor, but this new threat could change everything. Commander Reeves, he called. We need the Neptune at these coordinates immediately. The Concordat has a superweapon. The Concordat flagship glowed with strange energy. Its center opened like a flower, revealing a weapon unlike anything Earth had seen before. A planet killer, designed to crack worlds open and drain their resources more efficiently. Commander Olivia Reeves pushed the Neptune to its limits, racing toward the threat. Her ship shook as it absorbed enemy fire. ETA 2 minutes, Lieutenant Gregg reported. But their weapon will fire in one. Olivia made a quick decision. Emergency jump protocol. Now. The Neptune vanished in a flash of blue light. It reappeared seconds later, directly in front of the Concordat flagship. The enemy weapon was aimed at Earth. But now, the Neptune blocked its path. All power to forward shields, Olivia ordered. The weapon fired. A beam of intense energy struck the Neptune. The shields glowed white-hot, barely holding. Shields failing. Gregg shouted over alarms. Launch the disruptors, Olivia commanded. Small drones shot from the Neptune, swarming the Concordat flagship. They attached to specific points, then detonated together. The enemy weapons sputtered and died. Admiral Delgado watched from the Trident. Now, he said, release the final wave. Across Earth's oceans, the water churned one last time. The rest of humanity's fleet rose, 400,000 more ships. Now all 1 million vessels were visible, surrounding the remaining Concordat forces in a sphere of overwhelming power. On Earth, people stared in awe. No one had imagined their planet held such a massive secret. General Krav stared at the displays showing Earth's full might. How? He whispered. How did you build all this? John Mason finally told him the truth. The ship we found in our ocean wasn't just any alien craft. It was a seed ship sent by an ancient civilization that saw the Concordat rising. They seeded promising worlds with technology and warnings. We weren't the only ones. The Concordat Armada, faced with Earth's complete fleet, began to surrender. Ship after ship powered down weapons. Only the flagship continued fighting, under orders from General Zor. Commander Olivia Reeves, her ship damaged but still functioning, targeted the flagship's engines. One precise shot disabled it completely. Boarding parties ready, she said. Let's end this. As Earth's forces secured victory, the news spread across the galaxy. The Concordat, which had ruled through fear for centuries, had been defeated by a world they thought primitive. More oppressed species declared independence. The galactic power structure changed in a single day. 2 weeks later, representatives from 27 formerly conquered worlds met on Earth. They gathered in a great hall built beneath the Atlantic Ocean, one of humanity's hidden cities. John Mason led the diplomatic efforts. We propose a new alliance, he said, not based on conquest, but on mutual respect and defense. Admiral Delgado added, Earth will share our technology and help rebuild worlds the Concordat damaged. In return, we ask for peace and cooperation. The new galactic coalition was born that day. Earth, once thought to be an isolated primitive world, emerged as a leading power. Commander Olivia Reeves received a new mission. The UES Neptune, repaired and upgraded, would lead a fleet of exploration vessels. Their goal was to find other worlds that might have received the ancient warning, other potential allies. Susan Williams made a breakthrough studying the seed ship technology. We can create sustainable terraforming systems, she announced. Worlds the Concordat left barren can be restored. 1 month after the battle, the Neptune prepared to depart. Olivia stood on the bridge, looking at her crew, humans working alongside Lithani, Viraxians, and Nubari. Course plotted, Commander, Lieutenant Gregg said. The stars await. Olivia nodded. Let's show the galaxy a different way forward. The Neptune rose from Earth's ocean one final time. Behind it followed ships from a dozen allied worlds. Not a fleet of war, but one of discovery. On Earth, people watched them go. Children pointed to the sky, no longer afraid of what might come from space. Earth had kept its secret when it needed to, revealed its strength when threatened, and now would use its power to help rebuild a galaxy damaged by centuries of Concordat rule. The oceans were quieter now, their secret fleet revealed. But beneath the waters, new projects had already begun. Earth would never be caught unprepared again. As the Neptune jumped to faster than light speed, Olivia thought about how much had changed. A month ago, most humans didn't know what existed in their own oceans. Now they were helping reshape the galaxy. The secret that saved Earth would now help save others. The million-ship fleet had served its purpose and found a new one.